Hi, this is Jack Stanley. I'm the curator of the Thomas Edison Menlo Park Museum here in Edison, New Jersey. The Menlo Park laboratory that once stood here is very, very important in our history. This was the location of the world's first organized research laboratory. That was Edison's concept, Edison's idea, Edison's invention. It really didn't exist before. Edison understood his limitations. And so he added to this organization to help him to realize things he did not quite understand. And in this grouping you had mathematicians, scientists, physicists, engineers, laborers, mechanics, and this collective unit was Thomas Edison. I've often looked at it this way, that the brilliance of Edison was this, that he was an amazingly smart, brilliant individual. But the brilliance of Edison was more than that. He was brilliant enough to realize he wasn't brilliant enough. And that's brilliant. And so he surrounded himself with this amazing array of individuals, and this collective unit was Thomas Edison. And Menlo Park would become one of the greatest periods of research in the history of man. In the space of only 7 years, nearly 400 patents. There's nothing quite like that historically. Think of what they worked on here. They perfected the telephone, came up with the carbon button transmitter, worked on the phonograph, invented the phonograph. In fact, that was Edison's favorite invention, referred to it as my baby. How it was developed is an interesting story. It goes back a bit. It actually deals with something called the automatic telegraph repeater, which Edison was working on, which was a device to capture the indentations of incoming telegraph messages. He discovered if the needle rubbed against the dots and dashes of that recording, it would create almost voice-like qualities. Also, while working with the telephone mouthpiece, he discovered that speaking in the mouthpiece, it caused vibration, and you could feel the vibration. In fact, a needle holding the diaphragm in place in the telephone mouthpiece would prick his finger when he would yell into it. This started Edison thinking about possibly taking sound and trying to capture it. He theorized that perhaps one could speak into such a diaphragm with a needle onto a surface, and by speaking indent that surface with the vibrations of sound, and then take those vibrations and recreate sound. What an amazing concept. And so they did work starting in July of 1877, working through until December of 1877. And on December 6, 1877, Edison makes the first official recording, which is "Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow," onto what we call the tinfoil phonograph. It was an amazing moment in history. One might say perhaps one of the greatest moments of Edison's life, because he had done something that was considered impossible. People theorized it was impossible. People didn't believe that you could capture sound because it was of the ether, it was of the air, it wasn't something tangible.